Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm actually going to do a slightly different video than I've usually done in the past and talk about the meat smoker that I got for free from my neighbor. So this is my Pit Boss Austin XL meat smoker, and I got this for free. Now that's pretty cool. My neighbor actually, he bought something larger. I forget the exact model. It's a much more professional, higher end version. And his wife was the one that said, look, you can't have two of them. This is too much. We don't have enough space. Either sell it or give it away. And he first offered it to everyone in the neighborhood, and no one claimed it. They're like, no one wanted it. But I said, hey, if no one wants it, I'll take it. And he's like, come on over and grab it. That was 6 months ago. And all it needed was some cleaning, and it was ready to go. He had just finished making some ribs on it. Now, what you're seeing today is fully modded out. I've added a couple accessories. I got some accessories for Christmas, over the winter and whatnot. I'm going to go over that. And there are some modifications that you can do to make this meat smoker more consistent on the temperature. So it's known for a little bit of temperature swings, but that can be easily fixed. And I've added a couple extra creature comforts like the diamond plate shelf in the front and a few things on the inside that I will go over for you. So one of the first modifications I did, and I think this is really handy, especially if you need a lot more prep space, is I added this diamond plate shelf I got off of Amazon. And it wasn't that hard to install. The only thing I don't like about it is that the center of it can be a little flimsy if you're putting something heavier on there. And the only way that I'm going to solve that is if I put a piece of wood underneath and just screw it down with some pan head screws that countersink. That way the middle is less bendy like this. It is level with the ground. The barrel is actually playing this way for the grease to drip. That's why you see it's a little bit thicker over here versus thinner over there. But great mod to do. A little bit of augmentation is needed, but definitely a mod that if you have this smoker, a little bit of extra prep space goes a long way. I'm going to back up just one quick second. So the first thing that actually was done to this smoker before I even got it was he did upgrade the controller to the Wi-Fi enabled and Bluetooth enabled controller from Pit Boss. He also added the updated auger feed screw. I'm not sure exactly which brand that is. I don't know if it's from Pit Boss directly or if you put an aftermarket in. It's supposedly better for not clogging up and getting bound up from, say, pellet dust, but I haven't had any of those issues. I've kept my hopper nice and clean with no dust or whatnot. I wish I could tell you guys what it is, but I haven't had any issues with pellet feeding or anything like that, and having the Wi-Fi enabled is a nice thing to have, because if I wanted to connect remotely to with my phone, if I was down on the other side of town and I had to adjust the temperature while I was cooking some fish the other day, and it was a great thing to do. It's a great thing to be able to do because I wasn't there. But Wi-Fi enabled is a good thing to have, and the updated auger, awesome. The heat blanket I got for Christmas from my in-laws, and all this is basically for is to retain the heat in the barrel, and this is good for below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is good to have. I'm probably going to take it off very soon, only because that we're getting into spring. I'm probably not going to need this heat blanket. The other thing that I took out was that there was this grate on top here. You can actually see the screws that were there. And I don't know why they did that other than for safety. But if you ever had any issues with getting the pellets, to feed, then you can at least put your hand in there and just move the pellets to where you need it to be. The next modification, now we're going to get into the core of what I have put in here. I actually have a griddle. Let me move that out of the way. I added some light, but there's another segment coming up that I will show you on some of the other mods that you could not see. But I have added the air gap diffuser mod here, which is very helpful so that all the heat from the fire pot here won't travel up from underneath the barrel and hitting the temperature probe right there, which this is the only device that's inside here that tells the controller what's going on with as far as temperature goes. It's important to keep that clean, and you don't want all that really hot air from the fire pot hitting the probe directly, so that's what that air gap mod or diffuser is for. You can actually see it here, and in the next segment you'll see exactly underneath what I did to make that install happen. It is nice and clean. I just finished cleaning it all out, and then one of the good things that I think was a major improvement is that there is a diffuser underneath. I made an entire track system where it slides out of the way. It is located right here. There's a little 5/16 rod. I'll go into detail with that in the next segment, but basically it slides in and out of the way. Also, this is available on the Onyx edition, but not the older one, is this handle. I got an aftermarket handle, and just using some angle iron and some locking collars, I am now able to move this out of the way without using a spatula or anything like that. It's all right here, easily accessible. Here's the next segment that I made when I put this on the forums, but hopefully these mods would really help out anyone that has the Elston XL or any of the Pit Boss smokers that don't have these features. It's a little bit of hardware, not terribly expensive, really awesome to do. Check it out. I built a track system using some 1.5-inch L channel, secured it to the fire pot there using 9/16 rod and some fender washers. It basically just clamps to the fire pot. I had a 5/16 rod here with some locking collars so I can limit the travel, and I just used some locking collars here. Cut it to the right size. I actually had 2 leftover pieces. Instead of me going to buy more, I just coupled it together, so pay no attention to that. And then I have it right underneath here with a little ball end here, and use some of that felt tape so I can prevent the smoke from escaping here. And this is the final result. And the track system makes it glide very easily. I did have to bend the sides a little bit. And then in terms of the clearance of the top here to the top of the diffuser, it's about 2.5, maybe 2.25 inches. I remember reading something that you want to have about 3 inches of clearance, but I've already tried this out and it works great. The next modification is to get the handle here to open and close the sear plate. So that's the next modification. And I also did the air gap diffuser mod here as well. The final mod that I completed in addition to the heat diffuser underneath the barrel is the sear plate rod attachment here. All I did was take some 1/2-inch aluminum L channel, cut it about 5 inches, drilled a hole, and I got some leftover locking collars to match that rod here, and a couple number 10 screws here, 1032 screws. And now with a little bit of the felt to keep the smoke in there, this can go up like this. Again, limits the travel. And then finally with the other rod here, it exposes the fire pot. And put it all back in one shot. Ready to go. Finally, the one other mod that I've done so far, and I say so far because I'm sure I'll think of something else because I keep reading the forums and finding all these tips and tricks, is that I got some of this heat-resistant felt seal to go around the door, so that way I don't lose any smoke. And I did the same thing over here at where the rod is for the sear plate, and then also for the heat diffuser that I installed underneath the barrel there. And that just keeps the smoke from escaping. The only area that it really escapes now is over here where you put your temperature probe wires through, and then a little bit on the drain where the grease trap is. Not the worst thing in the world, but now everything else is sealed up. As far as the type of pellets that I use, I've had really good luck with Bear Mountain Competition Blend, and that's what I use today. And may switch over to hickory depending on what I'm doing. I am slated to do a nice 2-pound salmon fillet, and we're going to be doing a dry rub on that, brine bath overnight. Maybe I'll do a video on that if you guys are interested. My channel is mostly about bass guitar gear, sometimes small engine and product reviews, but this is another passion that I've really gotten into, is meat smoking. But I'm going to end the video here. Anyone else on the Pit Boss forums or anyone that's interested in this, please let me know. I can answer your questions. I've really gotten deep into how just getting into meat smoking really, and some of the tips and tricks and mods to make this smoker work absolutely awesome for the money that it's sold at. And hey, hopefully I can join with that community as well. Thanks so much again as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video.